Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be playing 18 holes at Wheatland Disc Golf Course, located just outside of Keizer, Oregon. In my opinion, this is one of the top 5 courses in the state of Oregon, or darn near close to it, and I am going to show you how I take it down as a forehand dominant player. Hole 1 here, kind of a low ceiling off the tee, but you're really just kind of powering one out there. It's a bit of a longer par 3. And I did not do any kind of warm-up on this particular day, and I really didn't get much on this one. It's left me with just a jump putt and a prayer for my birdie look here. But this is the kind of hole that you're never really that upset if you take a par. That's exactly what I'm going to do here, just a little kick in, and I am walking off even. Hole 2, on the other hand, is one that you definitely want to get, one of the shorter holes out here. There are a lot of bushes in the fairway, and I just choose to take that all out of play and go to the sky with the tomahawk and spike it right in by the basket. This particular time I've ended up circle's edge and throw a nice little shaky putt here, but we count those. And moving on to hole 3, 1 under par. On this hole you have to deal with the low ceiling pretty much the whole way and a sharp right turn at the end. It's the kind of hole where even your buddy that only throws backhands will give his best attempt at a forehand, because it's pretty much the only play. You're going to want to zip one through there and try to get a flare skip to the right at the end. There's even still a little row of trees you kind of got to get lucky and miss, but ideally you end up skipping it right up in there and get yourself a nice little short birdie like this one and move on to the next. Hole 4, we're playing to a new basket that's not on the sign, a little bit shorter, and once again I just don't really want to deal with all the mess up the middle, so I'm going to tomahawk it right over the top. I did come up a little bit short, and I've got this classic Wheatland putt doing a little straddle out from behind a bush or some kind of hazelnut tree. Happens all the time out here, and look at that air ball. That was terrible. But was able to clean up a par, not too bad. And luckily I didn't struggle too much with the elevated basket. Hole 5 is another one where I'm playing a basket that's newer, a little bit shorter than the normal basket. There is a forehand line for me here, kind of a low flex to the left of that big guardian tree, but I went for the shot with the most space available, which is that high kind of stall backhand flex. I got it way nose up and got caught up here with just a really long circle 2 look. And I really thought I had that one. You definitely can notice here, all of these new basket locations, they didn't set the sleeves all the way down in. So all of them sit about 4 to 6 inches higher. And yes, I am going to blame that for my missed putt there. It happens all the time. I don't know why it's so hard to adjust for. But we're going to kick in a par here. Just feels fine, but it's kind of one you'd like to get. Not too long of a hole. Hole 6 is 100% the easiest hole on the course. Pretty dark, but the basket's just right there. I'm throwing a mid-range, which is honestly too much, but I kind of wanted to ace run it. And left it left, but got a nice little tree kick, and we're just parked. That's pretty much how you want to play this hole. You really don't even want to have a putt. Hole 7 might be my favorite hole on the course. This is probably the best 400-foot par 4 you're ever going to play. Everything is just super tight gaps you got to hit. This first one, a little hyzer and skip around the corner, and you're just playing for position to get yourself a good look down this tunnel where you pretty much got to throw the forehand, because it's just a sharp little right turn at the end, coming up to this fairly protected green, and I did play this one pretty well. I do want to put a little disclaimer out there that this is old footage that I used for a completely different purpose, so there are some mulligans and a few second putts that I did take in here. In the future, I will try to be posting these videos as just true first shot rounds, but I really just wanted to get this one out there with what I have. back to hole 8 here. This is just the perfect forehand hole, or lefty backhand hole. About 300 feet. You just want to put it on hyzer all the way. I didn't quite get it left enough, but a little circle edge putt here, and I just doinked it right off the band. Wanted to give it another shot, see if I could get one that felt better, and of course doinked it right off the band again. But I'm left with a little tap in, and yes, I do realize I went to the wrong disc, but we're in for 3. Feels a little disappointing there for me. Hole 9 is a 521 foot par 4, and if that seems too short for a par 4, you are right. And for that reason, I can throw a backhand here even though I've got kind of a noodle arm. It really doesn't matter how far you get. You just have to put one out there at least like 300 feet, and you can chip one up and kick in a birdie. I'm going with a Star Toro here, and it pretty much looks like I parked it. And you can even see me kind of take a long look wondering, did I park that? But I actually left it a little short, probably about 25 feet here, and just snuck it in. And words for the wise, if you sneak one in, just don't throw another. Now I'm left with a bad taste in my mouth after hitting a couple of air balls there. Hole 10 is actually one of my favorite holes to start this course on. I like it better as a starting hole than hole 1. This is just a nice little downhill hyzer. For a lot of people, they can spike something like a Firebird, but for me, a little bit weaker backhand, I've got to use the glide of a Wraith to try to get there and get left. I did not get left enough on this one. My 35-footer comes up short, and I can't blame the higher basket on this one. But we're in for par. Overall, 5 down through 10, I would be feeling great about that. Coming up to hole 11, this is another fantastic forehand hole. We've got the late low ceiling that really plays great to just skip one in there. But I ended up getting kind of a dead skip there. So it's leaving me circle's edge left, and of course, we're right behind this tree, and I'm going to have to figure out how to stretch out enough to get a look at this. So bear with me as I situate my knee pad. If you're going to play Wheatland, you really got to practice your shots like this, your stretch out straddle putts, because they happen so often, and if you can't knock them down, you're going to lose a ton of strokes out here. These little hazelnut trees are around all of these baskets. Obviously not all of them, but I would say more than half have them within the circle. So it's a very common occurrence. Here, hole 12, you've probably seen pictures of it. This is, I think, one of the most picturesque, just definition of a tunnel shot there is out there. On this particular one, I threw a Hawkeye on a backhand. Sometimes I'll throw mid-range. A lot of times I'll just flip up a forehand and try to get it straight. Really, the goal is just to get out of the gap. I never really worry about parking this. If you hit early, bogey comes into play. Hole 13, kind of got to throw a backhand here. I gave it my best shot. This is a pretty full pump for me, and it was looking okay until it hit that late tree. And once again, I've got another step out straddle putt, and just a little short again. I'm all over the basket, but just cannot find the chains on these ones. Got to give this one a second chance, because how cool would that be if it goes in, right? But no dice. 14, probably the second easiest hole on the course, I would say. You've got the basket just right behind this tree here, and you really just got to miss either on the left side or the right side. You don't even have to curve around it. Anything that just goes dead straight is fine. I chose to put a nice little flex line on my Star Alien, and tell you what, it worked out great. These things are more stable than you'd think. 15 is another short par 4 out here. This one's definitely got some eagle potential. For most people, it's just going to be a big hyzer backhand, you can just bomb on it. There's really not a lot out there to hit. I go for this sneaky little forehand route sometimes. It's probably not smart. It's the only way to bring bogey into play. But I wanted to see if I could rip one up there close and get a jump putt look. Ended up being a little too far for the jump putt, but still pretty easy to just flick one up there and tap in a par. Sorry, tap in a birdie, but it really does feel like a par. 16, you're not going to be able to see a darn thing, but my shot landed right about here, which is just a little short for the ideal landing zone. If I push this a little bit farther, I'd be looking right down the tunnel, and I kind of have my pick of a straight backhand or a little forehand. Instead, I'm just going to try to tomahawk it all the way over everything. There's not really even a line for that. So it comes up short, and I'm going to have a circle 2 look at the birdie thanks to this new longer pin position. Normally, this one would play as a par 3, actually pretty close to where I am here. And it was the world's toughest par 3. But instead, we're left with what I think is genuinely a pretty good par 4. It's one that it's gettable for sure, but I am not going to be upset walking away with a 4. There's just a lot of stuff to miss. And moving on to hole 17, which I believe is the longest hole on the course. Even the 611, I think it might be a little bit longer than that. Normally I'm just going to bomb a forehand on this one, but I decided to give it a little practice with my backhand and actually got a pretty good shot here. And left with about 250 out. I just choose a little chip forehand. I'm trying to throw this a little bit lower so I can get a big skip up there under that late low ceiling. And once again, it looks parked, but it's actually short. This is probably 30-35 feet. And I hit probably my best putt of the day there. And 10 down is a fantastic score on this course. And once again, reminding you that is not completely legit. 18 is the kind of par 3 that's just a little bit too long for me to get. But I always try to muscle up and get it anyway and end up shanking shots like that. Now I'm left with, probably 250 feet left, or almost. And I'm going to grab my alien again and try to spike it in there. And I missed quite a bit left, which is actually the side to miss on, because we've got this big guardian tree that kind of blocks out the whole right short side. But I don't really want to have this elevated circle 2 putt to end my round. My bad, circle's edge. But it sure does look nice when it goes in, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching if you've made it this far. I appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Hope to have more videos coming. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of Wheatland? Where would you rank it among the courses in Oregon? Is it in your top 5, top 10, top 20? Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching.